Hello, my name is Daly Helfrich, and I have chosen to study and research Donald M. Baer. And here is a picture of him in the right-hand corner. So, a little introduction. He is commonly known as the father of behavior analysis. He did a lot of work in behavior analysis, many different areas of behavior analysis. So, kind of just known for having kind of dipping his toes in a lot of different areas, so to say. He lived from 1931 to 2002, and he was a professor at the University of Kansas and the University of Washington. But the more that I was able to research him and kind of find out about his biggest achievements, it's obvious that he was most well known for his work at the University of Kansas. So he studied at the University of Chicago, and he was later supervised at Florida International University. And he actually founded the discipline of behavior analysis with the help of Wolf and Risley. You'll often see their names all together in different journals and articles and research that they've done over time. Here are some pictures and important dates and awards. Here is him again in the right-hand corner, and here's a quote from him as well that says that there could be a science of behavior, of what we do, of who we are. How could you resist that? I agree. How could you resist that? Finding out how and why we behave the way we do is fascinating. So he won many awards. He won the Edgar A. Doll Award for his work in developmental psychology. He did a lot of work with children, obviously, in different settings. Also, the Don Hake Award he won for his work done in basic and applied research. He was a very well-renowned researcher. And then he won the award for distinguished service to behavior analysis. He had many different journals posted in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, has published around 200 books and articles in his career, and he was also the president of the Association for Behavior Analysis International, which is commonly known as ABAI. Which is still around today. I believe there's over 6,000 members. It's a nonprofit organization that just keeps individuals in the field up to date with some of the most current work. So, major books and articles that he published a book called Environment and Behavior. It's all about how environment shapes our behaviors and how if we're able to kind of change our environment and change some variables there, we can change our behavior. He also compiled an analysis of the 7 dimensions of ABA called Some Current Dimensions of Applied Behavior Analysis. So this just looks at what are those 7 dimensions, why are they important to follow, and kind of just advocated for ABA as a whole and what encompasses ABA. He also conducted studies and published journals on school-age children. So, like I said, a lot of developmental psychology. One, for example, was called The Development of Instructional Control Over Classroom Activities of Deviant Preschool Children. So they looked at preschool kids who were engaging in some not so great behaviors and just trying to increase compliance of these children, and found that when you reinforce the desired behaviors, you're going to see an increase in compliance over time. So I thought that was really cool. He also stressed the importance of incorporating ABA into schools. An example of this was an article that he wrote called Consider Its Recent Past and Then Ask a Different Question. Kind of just talking about how he hopes for ABA to be more accepted into schools in due time. And as we know now, that ABA is very present in school systems. And then he had also an emphasis on achieving social validity. So an example of this, he had a research article posted called Social Validity Assessments as Current Practice State of the Art. So just went into kind of looking at different assessments that are going on now and if you can apply social validity to them if they apply to the larger population as a whole. A summary of his work. He did research in the primary areas of developmental, social, and cognitive psychology. Also had a strong emphasis on reinforcement and differential reinforcement. Did some work with generalization. He had human studies. I didn't really find many animal studies in his work. Social validity, and then focus on upholding and practicing the 7 dimensions of ABA, which are behavioral, applied, analytic, conceptually systematic, technological, effective, and generality. So, interview summary, just some questions that I would like to ask him if I could. I would want to know if he received any backlash from other professionals in the field. If so, what were the critiques? I mean, he was clearly a very prominent researcher and psychologist in his field, so I would be curious to see kind of what his biggest critiques were. And then what issues came from his work-life balance. Was it difficult to be such a prominent, important person in this field and also protect his own life, his own mental health? How I know that's something that I struggle with a lot, is wanting to continue and further my education, but then also having to take care of yourself while you do it. What was his greatest contribution to the field in his own opinion? I feel like this would be something really interesting to see his answer on if I could, because there are so many things that he is recognized for. So I would be curious to see what he thought was most important. And then what changes still need to be made in school systems today. I think this is really important. It's important and near and dear to my heart because I work with children and in the school setting. So I would be curious to see kind of where he thinks we are right now. What changes still need to be made. And then his overall importance in the field. His work is still being used today in many different settings. The use of ABA has made it into schools, yay, and is accepted by a variety of professionals in the field. There's still going to be backlash and critiques of ABA, and people aren't going to agree with everything, but I think more time that passes and the more people that see the benefits of ABA, it'll be even more accepted. The use of evidence-based practices is very prominent today. He did a lot of work with the various evidence-based practices, studied many different domains, and did work in basic and applied research. And then he is recognized internationally, recognized all over the world for his contributions. So that is all I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit more about Donald Baer. Thank you.